Thank you very much. Uh, I'm very happy to be present here and talking to the various people who are interested in the Indian Constitution. I'm also very happy to be among the presence of several legal and constitutional experts who are with me today in this presentation. The topic given to me is importance of Indian Constitution for marginalized sections. I will talk both in English and Hindi. I hope that's okay with the participants. मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई कि आज मैं यहाँ आपके साथ हूँ और आपको अपने संविधान के बारे में, हमारे संविधान के बारे में ये कुछ बताना चाहता हूँ। मुझे पता है कि आप इस प्रोग्राम में राइट्स और ड्यूटीज दोनों के बारे में विस्तार से बात करेंगे। मेरे जो स्पीकर्स हैं यहाँ जो मेरे साथ हैं वो ड्यूटीज के बारे में बात करेंगे। मैं थोड़ा सा राइट्स के बारे में आज आपसे बात करना चाहता हूँ। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। जब ये प्रोग्राम शुरू हुआ तो हमने देखा कि बहुत सारे जो यहाँ के स्कॉलर्स थे और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स थे वो प्रियम्बल के बारे में बात कर रहे थे। The preamble was spoken at the very beginning of this program. And it's important that we realize that our preamble itself contains the seed of what we believe is the importance of the Indian Constitution to the marginalized sections of our society. Because it says, right from the beginning, it says that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and it says to secure to all its citizens. Right in the first sentence of the preamble, it says, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political. It's really important that we understand the importance of the preamble. मैं आपको थोड़ा सा मेरा बैकग्राउंड बताता हूँ। तो मैं यहाँ अभी मैं नेशनल लॉ स्कूल में प्रोफेसर और रजिस्ट्रार हूँ, मगर उससे पहले मैं अमेरिका में था 6-7 वर्षों के लिए, और उससे पहले उसके बाद में मैं इंग्लैंड में था 10-15 साल। एंड इफ यू नोटिस देयर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस, अगर आप उनके संविधान को देखें, अमेरिका का तो संविधान रिटन है और इंग्लैंड का अनरिटन है, तो अभी आप उनके संविधान को देखें तो ये जो एम्फसाइज करते हैं जस्टिस, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक एंड पॉलिटिकल, वो किसी और संविधान में नहीं है। वो केवल भारत के संविधान में है कि प्रियम्बल में ही हम पहले ही पैराग्राफ में बोलते हैं कि एंड टू सिक्योर टू ऑल इट्स सिटीजंस जस्टिस, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक एंड पॉलिटिकल। और ये जो हमने प्रॉमिस किया है कि वी हैव टू हैव जस्टिस, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक एंड पॉलिटिकल, वो दैट कैन बी डन इन वेरियस वेज। प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत में आपने देखा कि हम बोल रहे थे कि राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज आर बोथ इम्पोर्टेंट, और ये जो हमारे संविधान में ये जो जस्टिस है वो राइट्स और ड्यूटीज में बताया जाता है। और हम देखेंगे कि हमारे संविधान में एक डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी है, जो कि हम देश को बोलते हैं कि ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए। उसमें भी लिखा हुआ है कि अपने मार्जिनलाइज सेक्शंस को और उनकी सेहत और उनकी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ को कैसे इंप्रूव किया जाए। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। तो पहले हम इक्वालिटी के बारे में बात करते हैं। एज वी नो देयर आर three important provisions. There are many provisions on equality in the Indian Constitution, but the three most important provisions are that the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. And then the Constitution specifically says that the state shall not discriminate against any citizens on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. And we can see that this idea of marginalized sections of a society and how we address a problem is there right in center of the fundamental rights provisions, because we believe that anybody who is in a vulnerable part because of the fact that they belong to a certain religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, are given constitutional protection. In particular, in addition to the fact that the Constitution says that everyone is equal before the law. In keeping with our faith with what Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Ambedkar fought for, we have specifically abolished untouchability. In Article 17, we said untouchability is abolished and its practice in any form is forbidden. The enforcement of any disability arising out of untouchability shall be an offense punishable in accordance with the law. Once again, you see the unique nature of the Indian Constitution, that it puts the problems with marginalized people in our society right at the center and the heart of the Constitution. The fundamental rights provisions specifically address these kind of issues. They're not left to the imagination of our lawmakers. Our lawmakers and our citizens have been addressed specifically to the problem of discrimination against marginalized groups and discrimination specifically for the sections of the population that were termed as untouchable. Next section, please. Next slide. In addition to that, Article 21 says protection of life and liberty. No person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. यहाँ जो लिखा हुआ है वहां से हम ये समझते हैं कि किसी का जीवन या किसी की आजादी उसको नहीं ले सकते हैं, मगर हमारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इसको काफी ब्रॉडली इंटरप्रेट किया है और बोला है कि राइट टू लाइफ मींस राइट टू अ लाइफ ऑफ डिग्निटी. They should have proper livelihood, they should have proper nutrition, they should have proper housing. And by broadly interpreting Article 21, Article 21 has been now interpreted to mean not just a simple life or a life that exists, but a life that exists with dignity. We can see here that our constitutional provisions, right through their emphasis on the preamble, on their provisions relating to equality, their provisions relating to specific disadvantaged sections, and their provisions relating to life with dignity, have ensured that the problems of the marginalized sections are at the heart of what we owe to each other. Next slide, please. I mentioned at the beginning that there's something called directive principles of state policy, and there are many of them that are directed towards marginalized sections. And I wanted to just mention one of them, one of the very important ones, which says that the state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing and protecting as effectively as it may a social order in which justice, social, economic, and political shall inform all the institutions of the national life. The state shall, in particular, strive to minimize the inequalities in income and shall endeavor to eliminate inequalities in status, facilities, and opportunities, not only amongst individuals, but also amongst groups of people residing in different areas or engaged in different vocations. And you notice here that it is the state that's been given the responsibility to it. The government of the day has been told that inequalities in income and inequalities in status, facilities, and opportunities are something that the state, the people who we have elected, shall strive to overcome. Next slide, please. Lastly, I come to the most important, in my opinion, the most important, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण provision of the Constitution, which is Article 32. और ये मैं सबसे महत्वपूर्ण इसलिए मानता हूँ क्योंकि we may have several rights, बहुत सारे rights हमारे साथ होंगे, बहुत सारे provisions होंगे जिससे हमारे वेलफेयर के बारे में बात कर रहे होंगे. But unless we are able to enforce those rights, unless we are able to do something about it, those rights will remain on paper. And that's why the Indian Constitution, in a unique provision, says that the right to move the Supreme Court by appropriate proceedings for the enforcement of the rights conferred by this part, which is fundamental rights, is guaranteed. ये और किसी संविधान में इस लैंग्वेज में नहीं लिखा है कि इट इज गारंटीड. ये गारंटीड है कि आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट को पहुंच सकते हैं if you have a problem with any of the rights, और जो rights में आपसे पहले भी बात कर रहा था इसके बारे में, if those rights are violated. And to me, that is a provision of the Constitution, which I have mentioned Article 32 here, that's for the Supreme Court, but there's also Article 226 for the high courts. And these judicial remedies are our Constitution's promise to the common man, to anybody who, whatever might be his power or status or money, that they're able to approach the judiciary to enforce their rights, to ensure that their rights are taken care of. And that it is not at the privilege or at the permission of anyone. It is actually the right of every citizen of India to be able to ensure that the promise given to the citizens in the Indian Constitution of equality and justice, that that promise is redeemed. And for that, Article 32, especially with Article 226, are an important part of the Constitution. And this underlines, in my opinion, how carefully and how with passion and dedication our constitutional makers have taken care of the marginalized sections of our society. With this, I close with the hope that we continue as citizens of this country to believe in the majesty of our constitution, and that we work together to ensure that the marginalized sections of our society are taken care of as much as possible. Thank you very much.